Open your ears, I promise this will take a second. Put you on game, my brother, teach you valuable lesson. Respect yourself, we happy, no need to reminisce. No need to worry, you chillin' with men with confidence. Speak your mind, say what's up with your life. We can teach you wrong for right and take the darkness out your life. So what's good? What's good? It ain't nothing but a small thing. Have a seat, you can talk to us about anything. Money's, cars, sports, or maybe your business. Positive goals in your life support better living. A pep talk to the ones who in the darkest hour. Remember, sunlight comes after a rain shower. There's nothing wrong with the man who take notes. Don't take this as a joke. These words are well spoken. Teammates, cause we playing to win. I have a seat at this table with some men with confidence.
And welcome to Meninconfidence Sharing, where we, the men of a certain age, share our thoughts, ideas, and opinions in confidence. And today we are joined by the whole crew. We have Rhino, we have Sean, and we have Terrence. So let's go one by one. Say hello to everyone. Hello, Sean.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
And hello, Rhino.
What's good, everybody?
And hello, Terrence.
Greetings and salutations, good people.
Thank you. By the way, this is Tony, the host, and today we're continuing our series of the 10 Men Commandments, 10 things that all men should know, or 10 things that all men should follow. And we're continuing our series with Be Self-Sufficient. Being self-sufficient. So we're going to pose the question out to everyone. Why is it important to be self-sufficient?
Well, first of all, there's nothing worse than a man who can't take care of himself. If you're a man and you can't change a tire, I'd almost question your manhood. Because it's like, as a kid, I saw how to change a tire. I saw it done, and I automatically picked up on it and knew how to do it. There's just some things a man should be able to do for himself. He shouldn't have to rely on mom. Shouldn't have to rely on dad, really. Although we do, and if you have your parents in your life, I've lost both of mine. It's great that you could lean back on their knowledge and their experience. But at the end of the day, a point comes when you've got to be a man, you've got to be an adult, and you've got to forge ahead, and you've got to make your way through this world. You've got to establish yourself. But there's so much more to this topic than I'm hitting on, so I'm going to go ahead and stop right there.
No, but you had a good point, though. You did. I mean, one of the first things out the gate that you started with, Rhino, and I like that point where you were saying, when you use an example, because like in my example, one of the worst things I've ever heard is that, and this was real talk, this person I knew that was, hey man, I'm hungry. It's like, oh man, you hungry? You at home though, ain't you? Yeah, you ain't got nothing in the cabinets, like no peanut butter and jelly, nothing like that. Nah, I got that stuff, but I don't want that, man. I'm just waiting for the wife to get back so she can cook. You got stuff in there. You can cook it. You got cookable stuff. Oh yeah, man, I got a steak in the sink right now. It's thawing out, but I don't know how to put it on. So you would starve to death if your wife doesn't come home. Is basically what you're telling me. This that kind of thing is a part of a self-sufficiency. You can't figure out how to put this steak on the stove. Is it stubbornness or is it self-sufficiency? But I'm telling you, this is real talk. Right? This happened. This was a conversation with my friend, and I figured it out. And I was like, so you let me have a steak in my sink and don't see if that mug don't get cooked up. Man, I've been trying to do that steak so I can eat the whole thing before the crew get back. That's what I want. I don't want no traces of it so people don't know that I ate this steak before you got back. You just gonna smell onions in the house. What'd you have? Just some onions and mushrooms. It wasn't much in there, whatever. But
onions and mushrooms, really?
I mean, hey, I'm just saying, you got to come up with something because that's probably what she gonna smell that I topped on the steak. You know what I'm saying? The onions have a strong scent.
I'm just saying.
That's when you double. That's when you double down. You see,
we
on
talked
that.
about this earlier. We talked
Man.
about this
Yeah, I
earlier.
had some mushrooms. Yeah, I had some mushrooms and some
See, y'all.
onions.
First off,
Look,
okay,
okay.
so
Sauteed them
let
and
me
they were good.
digress.
Anyway,
Let me bring myself back. Self-sufficient. So y'all go keep me off track, right? But a man, yes, you should be self-sufficient. By no means are we trying to advise or say, go overboard and don't ask for help from anybody, but there are certain things that you should know how to do for yourself. You should, and especially when you're talking about sustaining yourself. This is, the very nature of it, where it's a self-sustaining. So you can also think in terms of this would be you by yourself. How do you get to work? Forget you got married yet, you had kids yet. How do you get to work? How do you feed yourself? That's part of one of the things I was talking about earlier. How do you pay your bills, take care of your bills? Those type of things is the self-sufficiency part of it you want to work on. How do you manage your money, your credit, your things of that nature, all those things, keep your lights on at your house and just manage yourself accordingly. We even touched on a little bit earlier in one of our other topics where we were saying, you want to like self-control, and keeping yourself in check from that standpoint. So these are just things that all goes with self-sufficiency. I don't want you to confuse it with, I don't need nobody. I should never ask for help. Forget that, I'm gonna do everything on my own. But there's certain things that you want to compartmentalize. You should be able to take care of yourself, because especially when you start thinking that eventually you want a wife, even if you don't want the family all the way, but you do want, most of us heterosexual Black men, you want a woman. Maybe you want a partner, but either way, you want to be able to sustain yourself first, and then you think about what you guys can do together from that standpoint. You have you, they have them, you put yourselves together, you should make an awesome team. I'm gonna drop that there.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in here finally, and for me, self-sufficiency can be kind of connected to self-worth. And what I mean by that is there is something about being able to say that I did this on my own without any assistance from someone else that makes me feel good about me. There's just, an intuitive inner self-confidence boost, a little, self-assuredness, a little help you stand up with your chest puffed out a little bit more and your shoulders back a little bit more, because I did this. I handled whatever this situation was on my own. And that's not to take away from being able to receive help or being too puffed up and too, arrogant not to want help or acknowledge that you need it. But sometimes there's a overwhelmingly good feeling that comes from knowing that I used my two hands and this tool between my two ears to work through a situation, whether it be physical, financial, emotional, whatever. But the comfort of knowing that you were able to do it for yourself, because no one's going to do it for you. There's something for that. There's something to be said about that, man. It just makes you feel good. And I would really feel bad for somebody if they've never experienced that.
Pretty cool. Okay, so here comes the return of Grouchy Smurf.
I thought we had sent him back outside the village.
He's back.
Smurf ain't got no
Our
fence.
Gargamel got him. We got to send
He
him
ain't
back.
got no fence, no security. But anyway, okay, so I appreciate you fellas giving some nice positive ideas and thoughts. But the true reason to be self-sufficient is because as a man, Ain't nobody coming to save you.
Just put it out there.
I mean, it is what it is.
Like, Steve Rogers ain't coming. Clark Kent ain't coming. Bruce Banner ain't coming. Invincible ain't coming. Like, nobody ain't coming. Like, no one's coming to save you.
What about Hawkeye?
Even Luke ain't coming. Ain't nobody coming. Ain't nobody coming.
No, I don't want that Luke to come. He needs to stay over there.
No one's coming to save you. The truth is the reason to be self-sufficient is because as a single man that don't have, a big family, or you don't have that special someone yet, you all you got.
Right.
Like, you CMB by yourself. You the Cash Money brother. You are CMB by yourself. You had better hold yourself up because no one's coming to do it for you. But here's the thing about that. Okay, so drop the grouchy smurf part. And the good thing about that is that once you become self-sufficient, you realize that you're self-sufficient, and you realize that when the rubber meets the road, you know that you can survive, right? You know that you can make it through pretty much anything. Why? Because you have made it through pretty much everything thus far, with your own strength and with your own abilities. And I would just put into that actually, I think I'll leave it at that with self-sufficiency, it will build up, like Terrence said, it'll build up your pride in yourself and what you are capable of. So, along with that idea, I heard Sean mention something along the lines of, like, there's being self-sufficient, and then there's kind of like being this island to the point where no one can get through to you. Like, you just become not just self-sufficient, but I don't need nobody. Double negative. I don't need nobody.
For real.
What is the difference between being self-sufficient and not needing nobody? Or, like, can you separate those two for me, fellas?
Well, you can't. It's been said that the lone wolf dies, and everybody knows wolves run in packs.
True.
It's good to be self-sufficient, but if you're gonna be self-sufficient, at least surround yourself by other people who are self-sufficient. But if you get to that place where you ain't need nobody, I can do this all by myself. Understand right now that you're setting yourself a failure. To even say that is basically telling karma to come and mess with me. You are going to need somebody else at some point in your life. Now, we're not saying these things to shame anybody. If you see that you have a lack, then a part of self-sufficiency is working on that lack. So work on yourself and fix yourself. But don't stay where you are. You should always strive to improve and to better and to streamline yourself. But I'm kind of getting off topic here. Separating the I don't need nobody from the person who's self-sufficient. Understand that you will need somebody else to whatever degree. I didn't learn how to change a tire by myself because I figured it out. If you got that gift, then wonderful for you. I had to watch somebody else do it, and now I know how to do it. So you will need other people for some things. What you don't want to be is dependent upon everybody else for everything else. That's what you don't want. The difference between the person that is self-sufficient and the person that don't need anybody is, I would dare say, arrogance. Afraid to call out for help or refusal to call out for help. I'll do it myself. No, don't let your pride knock you down and take you down and bury you. You need someone else for something.
So, to kind of carry that point forward a little bit further, and trying to stay away from the grumpy Smurf part of the village,
Gargamel.
I would say that, what separates being self-sufficient and being that person that I don't need nobody is not understanding that sometimes allowing someone else to assist you can actually be a blessing to both people. The person, if you're in need of help and someone else helps you, that's obviously a blessing that you've received. But that could also be therapy. That could also be, allowing a person to get something that's been bothering them off of their chest by helping someone else, or taking their mind away from what's been weighing them down by helping someone else. You never know what the benefit for the other individual may be, but there's still a benefit for another individual in allowing them to help you. I don't think anyone here is saying straight up, look, man, just be on your own island, by yourself, be that completely quote unquote self-made man, because that is another term that gets thrown around a lot when we start talking about being self-sufficient, and it sounds nice in theory, but it's a theory. It's not factual. It's not like carved in stone anywhere that says you have to be self-sufficient and no one can help you. That's just kind of an insane and utterly ridiculous idea when you think about it at its core, because at the end of the day, everybody on some level received help from someone, whether they want to acknowledge it or not, or they categorize it, well, yeah, they loaned me the money, but I paid them back. You still got the money from them to get started. Yeah, you did the right thing by paying them back, but you didn't have it to begin with. So, or whatever the case may be, and I'm getting off topic a little bit.
It was just a few million, just a few million, just to get started.
Gonna go there.
It just started me off.
Gonna go there,
right?
But yeah, y'all know what I mean. That's the separation. Being able to understand that receiving help doesn't make you less self-sufficient. It just makes you more aware of your circumstance and open to assistance.
I agree. I think another thing that is important about self-sufficiency and not being that island as far as wanting to be by yourself and do everything by yourself. One of the good things is, like, let's say you have an ensemble of people. One person's going to try to do everything by themselves and going to try to do the whole job alone. But if you have a collection of self-sufficient guys or self-sufficient people that are able to work together, you can hand one person a task and you know that one person has that task down. And you don't have to worry about them either getting swallowed by it or not being able to complete it, because they have a history of being self-sufficient. So you expect for them to be able to complete their task. But if they do run into trouble, they are also wise enough to be like, hey, hello, I need a little bit of help. Somebody come in and assist me. And that's how you build structures and corporations and circles and stuff like that. When you have a collection of self-sufficient people that are not so self-sufficient that they are just all by themselves and they don't need help. Like, if you get a collection of people that are just like, I can do this by myself, I can do this by myself, I can do this by myself. Like, you got 5 people that say they can do this by themselves. You know what you have? You got 5 failures. You got 5 people that's going to do it incompletely and terribly, instead of 5 people working together and making a complete project.
True. As
Yeah,
much
you-
as
you-
I'd like to be that one-man island, I can't.
Right.
I'd love to fly a spaceship to Mars and live on Mars for a couple of years, and then come back to Earth and see what job I'm up to, but I can't.
Right, right.
I got to get the rocket fuel from somewhere. I got to get the shit built from somewhere.
Somebody else has to do something else. This is true, right?
Right.
This is true. And Tony stole a point of mine when I was gonna say like a real talk, real situation from something that I did. It takes and my point to this is just that it takes more effort to show somebody how to do something, to not be self-sufficient. I actually had a real life situation in which, normally I was the type that would be like, no, turn it the other way. No, not that way. No, the other, turn it, you know what, move out the way, I'll get it myself. But when that takes very little effort versus sitting down, talking with the person, no, okay, put your hands on, turn it that way. And then what I figured out once I taught this person or showed this person, let this person do the part of the job that I could normally do myself, like Tony said, what I wound up finding out later is that now I knew this person could complete this task. And when it came down to, I need to get something else done, that I need to go over here, that actually takes a little bit more of an expertise, this person can go and get that task done. It's the same thing. Plus, I watch a lot of football, all that kind of stuff. So, and I've never seen, I don't care, the greatest quarterback can't get it done by himself. Sure, they can run out of trouble, a lot of times they can get some touchdowns, but come on, the receivers got to catch the football. It's just is what it is. You can be the greatest, but you throw this ball at you consistently and you just hot potato in it. Right. that's not helping me. And it shows me even then, I can't be on the other end of the field. When I let this ball go from my hand, that was me doing my job. It's a laser, it's a spiral, it's headed right for your numbers. You dropped it. What else? I can't be here and there. We need to teleport, so I can't do it myself. You see what I'm saying? And that's that. In general, like you guys said, it's both. You can't do it, and you shouldn't do it. So.
Appreciate that, fellas. Okay, so we've been talking about being self-sufficient. See, we've already went through our 2 questions. Anybody have anything extra they want to add on?
I'm still, and this is from the beginning of the conversation, really just kind of stuck on this whole thing. I got a steak in the fridge, in the sink thawing out. And I'm letting it thaw out, but I can't eat nothing.
This is
coming from a person who doesn't do cooking very much at all. I'm gonna figure out a way to start a flame and slap some kind of seasoning on this steak and put this steak over my flame until it's brown.
Like,
and
dude,
not
like we picking for Survivor. You're getting picked last, right? You know that, right?
Right, and you got to be. You would have to be. Do you know how rare it is to be able to get a ribeye nowadays even from the grocery store? Shoot, $21.33 for this one freaking ribeye.
Okay, see, yeah, you went there. I'm still at the basics of this whole thing of I can't do this.
Right.
Bruh.
Right.
I pride myself.
I'm surprised nobody else said this, so I'm gonna throw this out there.
What's that?
This ain't the theme to Smallville. Somebody save it. That ain't happening. It's not happening.
Don't care how you do it. Just say.
Now, I knew a man. Well, I still know him. He's passed on, but he and his wife had been married for like years, since like their early 20s, and they she's like probably in her mid to late 60s, and one time she was I think she was out of town. She wasn't there, and he had to cook for himself. And I can understand that, not really, having some trouble. But at the end of the day, he knows he can put something in the microwave and push the buttons and walk away.
Right.
Even me myself, I mean, you can get a book, get some recipes, get the ingredients, put them together, follow the instructions.
Take a look.
It's not.
What's the kids say?
It's
Google
in a
it.
book.
Google it.
I was gonna say, I think. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna end with, I pride myself in being able to cook for myself.
Self-sufficient.
I was just gonna say, I think the question here in my mind becomes, where's that boundary of self-sufficient versus being just lazy? Because what we're talking about on a certain level, to me, sounds almost like laziness. Like, well, I'm just used to other people doing this for me. Come on. That's a whole, talk about things that you want to have. That's something that you don't want to have, is that thing within yourself where you're just, I think we've already addressed it, constantly looking for other people to do stuff for you. Or not so much looking for people to do stuff for you, but feeling entitled that people do stuff for you because it's become so common.
It ain't common nowadays. It is not common.
Entitlement is what I was getting.
The attitude, the thought process that it still should happen that's common.
Entitlement is, but somebody delivering on that entitlement, that is not common. Somebody just coming out of nowhere. Oh, you look hungry. Let me come into this kitchen and fix you this here ribeye. No. They're going to put on your tombstone, here lies a fool who had a good piece of steak in the kitchen, but wasn't smart enough to put some sizzle on it.
Hey, man.
You get heat from so many different directions. You get fire. There's a stove. There's an oven. There's an eye. I mean, come on, man. Make it happen.
I feel you, T. I think for people like us, but the only slight disagree I'm going to do with you on is this sense of entitlement. It can't come from nowhere. I feel like it comes from, I'm going to use a term that I've heard, I guess you could say, entitled folks use, which is being enabled. People come along that enable them to feel entitled because somehow, without them having to cook it, that steak miraculously gets done, whether it's calling mama, I need somebody, what you mean? You ain't got no food at the house, son? Oh no, I got a steak in the sink, mama, but I don't know how to do it. Hold on a second. I'm on the way. And I'm gonna bring some potato salad and stuff for you. Come on now. You enabled him to be entitled. That's why he don't know how to do it. And that's why he ain't worried about it.
Well, I'll say this, and I'll say we'll wrap it up with this. That's why it's important to be self-sufficient, so you won't be that lazy, entitled fool waiting on food that's not coming.
That's absolutely right. This is absolutely right.
But again, please, men, be self-sufficient. It makes you a better man. It makes you a better asset to your friends and family and to your community. And I would almost say that it helps hit the other things we've been talking about before. It helps you be in control. It helps you be confident. It helps you be loving. I mean, all those things are included with being self-sufficient. Because you are able to handle yourself, you are able to use you as a weapon or as an asset to other people. Okay. Well, I think I'm finished talking. So, but anybody else?
I think I'm good. I just needed to get that whole entitlement bit out because that was,
that steak was bothering you.
Opposite end of this.
It was.
I just did. Like I said, I just didn't get that one. And again, I can't overemphasize this enough. I'm not the chef in the bunch here, but still, if it's in the saying thawing out, I think I can figure this out between, like y'all said, Google it, in a book,
YouTube.
Something. I am not going to
You're on YouTube,
starve.
listen to us. Find that.
Like me no fire, me no heat. Heat tastes good on steak with garlic and salt and pepper.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Unga bunga. But anyway, fellas, I think this has been a fairly good episode. A little bit of chuckles here and there. But on that, I'm going to pass it to Terrence for the closing.
Well, as always, thank you all for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. Good night. Good afternoon. Good day. Talk to you later, good peoples.
Y'all have a good one.
Peace.